So let me ask you something. What is art really for? Is its job to give us this perfect, focused, emotional gut punch, like a great tragedy? Or should it show us the messy, complicated, sometimes ridiculous truth of what real life is actually like? Well, we're going to dive right into that very question using Aldous Huxley's absolutely brilliant essay, Tragedy and the Whole Truth. Okay, so Huxley's main idea is actually pretty simple when you break it down. He says real life is just chaos. It's a jumble, a messy pile of everything happening all at once with no real structure. But art is different. Art acts like a filter. It creates meaning by very carefully choosing what it shows us, and this is just as important, what it decides to leave out. And for Huxley, the ultimate example of this super selective art is tragedy. I mean, think about it. It's designed from the ground up to amplify one single dominant emotion by just ruthlessly cutting away anything and everything that doesn't serve that feeling. What you're left with is this incredibly potent, purified experience. And the goal of all this intense purification has a name you might know: catharsis. If you've ever watched a really heavy film or a play and walked out feeling strangely cleansed, almost lighter, well, that's it. That's catharsis. Tragedy is basically engineered to take the chaos of pain and organize it into something meaningful, something that actually elevates our spirit. Huxley makes such a powerful point with this quote. He's saying that a good tragedy is so emotionally concentrated, so focused, that the messy distractions of the real world, all the little ironies and random, irrelevant details, they just bounce right off it. It creates its own unshakable reality that we get completely lost in. So what does that do to us, the audience? It leads to total absorption. With zero interruptions, we get this intense feeling of moral clarity and seriously heightened emotion. It's like we can feel a powerful sense of fate playing out right in front of us, and it leaves us with this feeling of deep, unshakable conviction. Okay, so after building up this perfect, purified world of tragedy, Huxley hits us with a twist. He introduces its great rival, what he calls the whole truth. And this is literally everything that tragedy so carefully edits out. All the chaos, all the interruptions, and the unfiltered, messy reality of just being human. Yeah, exactly. All that perfection, right? All that emotional purity we were just talking about. Life just doesn't work that way. It's messy, it's contradictory, and it is constantly getting in the way of our grand tragic emotions. And this right here, this is Huxley's knockout punch. It's such a simple biological fact. You could be in the absolute depths of tragic despair, feeling the weight of the world. But if your stomach starts to rumble, well, that profound sorrow can just vanish in an instant. A basic bodily need can completely shatter the most monumental feeling. So what else gets left on the cutting room floor? All the trivial stuff. The hunger pangs, slipping on a banana peel, losing your keys when you're in a hurry. You see, tragedy presents us as these beings of pure, consistent emotion. But the whole truth is there to remind us that most of the time, we're just a bundle of conflicting, moment-to-moment needs and distractions. So let's put these two experiences side by side and see how they stack up. Emotionally, tragedy gives us that amazing release of catharsis, that feeling of exaltation. But the whole truth, it forces us to confront reality with a jolt of recognition. And intellectually, tragedy offers us clear meaning and conviction, while the whole truth kind of throws the mess at us and demands that we interpret it for ourselves. But here's the thing. Huxley isn't just here to criticize tragedy. He's not just tearing it down. He actually has a vision for a new kind of storytelling, a more honest art form that doesn't force us to choose between these two extremes. And this is absolutely key to understanding his point. He's not arguing that we should get rid of tragedy at all. In fact, he loves its power. What he wants to do is expand it, to enrich it, by making it more honest about the full, complex, and often contradictory experience of just being alive. This leads us to this fantastic concept Huxley calls super truth. This is art that manages to feel more real than reality itself. It somehow takes the chaos of life and organizes it into something incredibly convincing, but it does it without lying about how messy things really are. It's the best of both worlds. So how in the world do you actually do that? Well, Huxley lays it out. First, you have to keep that powerful tragic core. That's the engine. But then, instead of cutting everything out, you let real-life complexity, the hunger, the interruptions, the silliness, orbit around that core. The trick, and it's a hard one, is to do all that without losing the emotional seriousness of the central story.
So, why does any of this really matter? Why is this battle between art forms so important? Because, as Huxley explains it, our spirit, our psyche, has a deep, fundamental need for both of these things. We desperately crave both the focused meaning that tragedy gives us and the grounding reality that comes from the whole truth.
Just look at what each one feeds in us. Tragedy, on one hand, satisfies our hunger for meaning, for a world where suffering can have nobility and maybe even justice exists. But the whole truth, that satisfies our need for authenticity, for understanding ourselves and the complex world as it truly is, not just as we wish it would be. Let's just boil it down to its essence. What is the ultimate gift of tragedy? It's resilience. By showing us that there can be nobility in suffering, it gives us a framework, a way to find meaning and strength when we have to face our own hardships. And the gift of the whole truth, that's awareness. It grounds us. It plants our feet firmly in reality, helping us see ourselves and the world around us honestly. It's this constant, vital reminder that life is always, always more complicated than any single perfect story can ever capture.
And so that leaves us with one last question to chew on. Think about your favorite movie, your favorite book, or play. What messy, inconvenient, real-life, whole truth did that story have to leave out to tell its perfect, powerful tale? And what would that story look like if it decided to put some of that messy truth back in? Something to think about.